Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another episode of Hearthstone. Today we do Shaman. That's who we're playing. No reason to really play as the Mage. At least I'm gonna start with the Shaman. Need 2 victories, let's hope we can get them. We're working overtime in a lot of ways. No, not in the sense that I'm actually making extra episodes, but in the sense that we have the 1400 gold needed for Blackrock Mountain. We have at least 400 extra gold now, so we're trying to get that overtime pay, which is ever so wonderful when you can get it. Trying to build up a reserve just so we can always be rolling in cards. Potentially get all the cards eventually. I want to keep this guy, but it's going to be risky. I'm not sure I should even stick with an overload deck on this. Maybe I should move this guy to the Murloc deck. He probably would work really well with him. Yeah, excuse me for yawning.
I'll show them. Hello. I'll show them all.
Got caught up in between recording sessions. My Chrome browser has started doing this weird thing that I just realized, and maybe it's been doing it for a real long time. It's taken me to this Google thing when I open a new tab. That looks like Google, but then when you click in the bar in the middle and start typing, it skips everything up to the Omni bar, the URL bar, and types up there. So you can just never type in there, and then it makes it look just a little bit different. So I'm like, what's going on? Have I been hijacked? What's the deal here? And
job's done.
It doesn't seem like it was hijacked. It just seems like Chrome changed something. So I had to go and install an extension, which is the last thing I want to do. The last thing I want to do is install an extension and use up more RAM in this thing.
I wonder.
I would consider going to a new browser, but I just don't have it in me to be jumping between browsers. For the longest time, many years ago, I would use Opera, and
I wonder.
then Opera fell behind and Chrome was the best, and now a lot of people say Firefox, and I just don't have it in me to jump between this and this and this and this and try and relearn it. It's not an efficient use of my time.
I wonder.
At least I'm not on Internet Explorer. I mean, I pretty much never used Internet Explorer. I started, I believe, with Netscape Navigator, which was way a long time ago. Really, man. Look at this. I've been noticing some bugs on this. Like if I have the mouse right here when a card draws, it'll put the Wind Fury and Overload and any pop-ups right under the picture of the card. Not great. Let's get this guy out there. Let's get this guy out there. Let's get this out. This is weird.
Time runs out on me.
One thing I realized is that I think in OBS there is a button I could assign at least to do screenshot. And if I spent the effort to screenshot, looks like we caught up. I could, at least in that small way,
Handle it!
do better than
Handle it!
Do I want to kill this guy? I think I probably do. just relying on YouTube, because YouTube just picks 3 random things. So if at least I, as a human being instead of a computer, picked a couple of screenshots, that would possibly be better than nothing. But, after I did deconstructing the PT thing, it really did become a little obvious that if I had just chosen, let's see. Oh, this was dumb. So what do I want to do? Do I want to kill all my guys, or kill all my guys? Unless I could get all of their health up, I made a mistake. Yeah, that was bad. That was real bad right there. Maybe I could have saved that guy too. I probably could have.
I'll show them all. Mind if I roll need?
Oh, I totally screwed that up. I totally screwed that up. And then I get the guy I needed. If I had just waited a turn. Oh, it's so terrible.
For science!
There you go. Heal that. Counter spell it, fine, whatever. Summon one of these guys. Guess I have to summon some whatever. That's weird. This is actually exactly what you want your enemies to have, is a bunch of 0 attack, non-taunt guys. Fill up their whole setup so they can't summon anything different.
Job's done.
Gotta be careful here, don't want to give them health, I want to take it away.
Some still funny.
Oh, this is terrible. Just awful. Let's see. We do this. Summon this. Take this guy out. Yeah, that worked. Good. I still got a chance here. But I'm gonna probably work on trying to see if I could get like an Amazon.com affiliate link. So if that works out, hopefully I can. They've already been seeing it for a while. Those will help just everybody out. I mean, you click on that, then you go buy whatever you're gonna buy at Amazon.com. Some percentage comes to me, and that's great. That's like a ridiculously easy thing. The prices don't go up for anybody who buys on Amazon, so you're literally giving me free money. You're not having to do any work, lose anything for it. Alright. Looks like I can just continue beating on the face, so I'm gonna keep trying to do that. Just having an affiliate link could be the difference between the tiny few pennies and actual dollars, or tens of dollars, or hundreds of dollars a day, or a month, even, just by allowing people to shop where they were allowed to do shop already. So I'm sort of excited about that. I didn't know you could have 2 old merc guys. How did we get 2 old merc guys? I don't think you're allowed to have 2 of them. This game is getting weird. Very, very weird. I can swear you're not allowed to have 2 old merc guys. Oh, I must have summoned one with the Neptunion. Yeah, that's what I did. I summoned one.
Soldiers of the cold dark, obey the call of death.
And then I drew one. Yeah. This is no good. Summon this guy.
Feel the power that wins.
This guy wins fury, I guess. Then we summon this guy. Smash. Smash. Smash.
Job's done.
Are we gonna survive this next turn? I think we should. 2, 4, 5, 7, 7, 13, 15. Yeah. Should be able to survive. Unless she can do another 8 damage. There's 6. Does she have another one? Yes, she does. Alright. I think it's probably only wise to play the Mage, just so we can get these victories done. I don't want to get stuck on playing this for recordings. I need a lot of free time so I can play this for no other reason than grinding gold. But yeah, if I get the affiliate links done, I think
you asked for
I have every right to use them myself. So, in theory, I can go purchase things I would normally purchase on Amazon.com anyways, and get a small discount. I guess. I don't know. I have to go investigate it. There's a very high chance they're not gonna let me have one at all. They're just gonna say no. It's like, you're not big enough, you don't qualify for this reason, that reason. And one thing I think about, and maybe I'm wrong about this, so leave it in the comments if you disagree, but if you were gonna start, well, think of that game like hot dog stand vendor or any of those cell phone games like that. If you're gonna start a business where you're just selling like food out of a cart, or any other business where you're selling anything, really, it's so weird. And it really is, to get to the point where you're actually making any money at all is the weirdest part of starting a business. It really is. It's just like you can't do the hot dog cart thing, really. Even in most of those games, you have to go buy the hot dog cart, which means you have to pay a couple $1,000s at least, which means you have to go get a loan. So before you even have made a dime, you're further in debt than the day before. You have to buy all the product, you have to get a permit, you have to find the right location, you have to do all this work. Only really in begging or highway robbery, I suppose, can you just go out on the street, do something, and make money. It's real weird. And then even when you are making money at this, like in the hot dog cart games, it's barely any money. It's just slightly more than the bills. It doesn't ever really skyrocket. That is kind of the one thing that hopefully is different about YouTube, is that you can really skyrocket in popularity. Of course, you also have the incredible risk that YouTube could just stop being watched altogether, and then you're in this situation where all your income disappears. Notice I attacked the guy on the left, because if I attack this one, it would just move over and make this one stronger. So by getting the one on the left, I saved myself 3 damage. And I personally would be a terrible beggar. It would be very difficult. Not that begging or being impoverished is ever easy. It would be very difficult for me. I can't play an instrument, and I can't dance, and I can't sing. Can't paint photos or anything like that. I would be probably job done in a real bad place. So, but that's all a little morbid too. The hope with actually even a little bit of observed evidence is that this YouTube channel is working out. It's not skyrocketing, but it's not floundering either. A lot of this, I'll suggest to new TV people, is that it seems like there might be an artificial barrier for the first couple of months, or it definitely at least feels like that. Felt like that to me. Feels like they, specifically YouTube, doesn't suggest people until they've gotten, well, at least 2 months of consistent posts, and probably, I'd say, at least 500 videos. So it's kind of like, if you want to be a master swordsman, they say throw away your first 1,000 swords. They were all practice. They say, I've heard it said. To be more accurate.
My shield for Argon.
And I feel like that's probably true.
Enough mana.
You're gonna just make probably 1,000 videos before you start getting popular. You gotta learn a lot of stuff. You gotta learn about YouTube tagging. You gotta learn about having a good description. And I don't know if I really have that great of descriptions. You gotta learn about sharing it with the right people. Yeah, the Mage was supposed to guarantee a victory, and it didn't. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, but you just gotta go too. Go. Do you need a brand new gaming PC? Sorta. Not immediately at the beginning, but kind of sorta. I would recommend, if you want to be a YouTuber and you're young and you got a birthday coming nearby, try to convince a gaming PC instead of a gaming console, if those are options that you might actually get. And then you'd be set. If you could... Oh, I love when that happens. If you can get somebody to gift you a new gaming PC, you'll be pretty set. I mean, all you need is a good gaming PC that is pretty new. I would say at most 2 years old. Hopefully less than 2 years old. And
versus undoing.
then you need a microphone.
Light shall bring victory.
And
For Doomhammer.
what you can do for that is, to start off with, what I'm using right now is go down to a used game store, get a wired USB a 360 controller, or PS4 if they have those. I don't know if PS4 has any wired USB controllers. I don't think they do, actually. And then get a headset that works with that, which is the micro stereo jack headset plug, whatever it is. And that's what I'm using right now. So I've got a Xbox 360 headset, Xbox 360 wired controller, and that cost me about $50–60. And sure, if you go up to 100, you can get a snowball Yeti,
I wonder.
I believe, and that's what I want to go to, and that's about as high as I'd be willing to go as far as microphones. And then you can spend $20 on a microphone stand and about $10 on a pop filter, and then you're in semi-professional, professional, or cheap professional land as far as what you're using for your audio recording. Do you need to go soundproof your room? Not at the beginning. I have not done any soundproofing. You need to have a nice quiet room. So if you've got a house with 50 people running around and making noise all the time, you're gonna probably have some trouble there. Now to get back to the thought, if you're young and you get a game console for your birthday, if you're young, you're probably going to school, high school, college, junior high. So you are not gonna, you need to admit to yourself, you're not gonna make this a full-time job for yourself right now. You're gonna lay a sneaky foundation for a future career is what you're gonna do. So you're gonna play just like on the weekends and record when you have time, because the truth of it is you're just not gonna have enough time. I spend at least 8 hours, and it's closer to 10 or 12 hours a day, recording, uploading, getting the descriptions right, getting the websites, learning new things, trying to promote. And it's only gotten me so far in 3 months a moderate amount of success. As if you're a kid, you're just not going to get any success. But what you can have is, if you were going to play video games anyways, and this is the thing that, had I known for a second this was even a career option when I was a kid, I would have done this.
I wonder. Handle it!
You're going to have a collection of old videos, and you're going to build up your skills as a commentator. I personally think you've got to comment. First of all, that's really your best fair use argument, and you definitely are going to have to learn all about fair use. You're going to learn to love and hate all that you know about it. But if you're just trying to think you're going to play a game and record it and not say anything, or type in Notepad and record yourself typing in Notepad, no, get away from that. That's silly. You gotta remember, it's 2015. There's a lot of options. You're not gonna sit there and tolerate that. They want to hear your personality and you want to develop your personality. If you're gonna be a personality and a YouTuber, you're gonna have to develop one. So that's kind of things, and then you're gonna get a lot of games played, and you're gonna get a lot of videos uploaded. And you could just have those all private if you want, or unpublished. But really, you'd be better off putting them out there. You want to be, if you're a kid, I'll say you want to be respectful. You want to not be very respectful of privacy of yourself and others. You don't want to like go out there and use your real name. That's not a good idea. You don't want to tell people where you live. You don't want to
Behold the might of Stormwind!
mention other people's names. You don't want to slander people or threaten people, because that will definitely end up with you in jail. So you just want to talk about things. You can make your opinions, if they're nice and respectful, about celebrities, but if somebody is not a celebrity, or even if it's a question, don't mention them or talk about them at all. Sometimes I'll talk about people in very general concepts, being very careful so they cannot be identified. But you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to make the mistake that so many people make of doing something that at your age you're not legally allowed to do, and having video evidence of that on your channel. So if you're 14 years old and that people can hear you lighting something up with a lighter, well, there's two things that I can think of off the top of my head that you light up, and neither one of them are legal for a 14-year-old. So video or audio evidence to incriminate yourself, not a smart idea. I think this is a smart idea, no? There we go. So, but yeah, as a kid, just build up your personality, make your mistakes. I'd say put your videos out there, because you shouldn't you really won't even care if you get no viewers and no subscribers. It really won't even matter. That's not the point. The point is, by the time you're out of school, whenever that is, you will then have enough skill and videos already out there that just completely we're gonna finish up the rogue recording since I'm talking here. We're getting really stingy with the episodes, I have to admit. Just seems like every recording session is just 2 episodes, so I'm falling behind. But if I had been recording videos when I started playing video games, you would have probably 10, 15, 20 years of footage on my channel right now. And that would be huge. And that would be thousands and thousands, if not millions and millions of views.
Job's done.
Consequently, I would have been so early on the YouTube service that I probably would have been one of the most recognizable, popular person there, just because I was first. That is another thing too, is I have to recognize that I'm a very special type of game.
It's time for a little blood.
If you don't play video games like ridiculously too much, like everybody thinks you might be a little crazy too much for as much video games as you play, then you're probably not a good video game commentator. But there might be something else you can do on YouTube. There's all kinds of weird stuff you can do on YouTube, and if you think of something new and unique, even the better. Because then you have 100% of that market versus being a video gamer where there's just the market is huge, and even if you got 1% of it, it's gonna be such a tiny amount. But go with your passion. And I've been playing games for so long that I should have recognized it was a passion. I don't think I ever really had the equipment set up to be recording, and it never really occurred to me. It occurred to me even a lot later than it should have. Just the general concept of
my shield for Argon.
Time.
Recording was out there a lot quicker than when
Here we go.
When I started. It just didn't occur to me. I was definitely in this mentality that is sold to everyone, and for a lot of people it is the reality they have to live within, whether they like it or not. You get out of school, you go get a job, and you work for someone else. Someone else pays you, and you're grateful for that pay. And all of that. And that is definitely the reality for a lot of people. That is going to be a reality for a lot of people. It is very possible that as a YouTuber you will have to work a full-time job and do the YouTube job and try and make that full-time too. I have known a lot of people who have worked 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job, which is just a ridiculous thing.
Come close and listen.
Here we go.
Look, I've got this one in the back. So it's very possible you're gonna have to do that. And I was definitely in that mentality. And I worked at a job for 5 years straight. I got a pension from it even.
You win.
At the end of the day though, it was a miserable place to work. It was not my passion. It was not something that increased a career to anything. It wasn't McDonald's, but it was practically the same as working at McDonald's for 5 years. Being the intern burger flipper at McDonald's and being the head burger flipper at McDonald's does not get you into a 5 Michelin star restaurant.
Your soul shall be mine.
Nor does it get you into a sales job or an accounting job or anything like that. Regardless of how creative you can improve your resume, it just doesn't. And there's a lot of jobs out there like that. A lot of things where they just go nowhere. And life situations, poverty, sets a lot of people up so that they are stuck doing things, working jobs like that, and just to make ends meet, and you make ends meet, and then you go back to work. It becomes a cycle of poverty where you've not gained any career, you've not gained any education, and to break out of the cycle of poverty that a lot of people, most people, are just by default thrown into, you really have to make an effort. You really have to kill yourself when you're young with just overworking yourself and overeducating yourself, and that's one of the things that it is my suggestion at the moment. And I've made the exact opposite suggestions in the past, but it is my suggestion at the moment that if you can stay in school, stay in school. Don't worry about the college debt. You know, all those federally secured college debt things.
Here we go.
They're just going to, that whole economy is going to crash eventually. That's just what it is. You may have to dodge the loan collectors for the rest of your life, but at the end of the day, you'll still have a better life than somebody who never went to college at all. Let's see.
Come close and listen.
But that also means you should get a good college education. So don't go into college and do specialized fields, or really. You gotta do a lot of research if you're gonna do a specialized degree plan. Otherwise, I recommend almost everybody do a business degree, business manager, business this, business that, just something that is a very generalized degree that doesn't matter, like human resources
Here we go.
type jobs. Think of that. Things that can't possibly disappear, or at the very least, if those types of jobs start disappearing, then every other type of job has already disappeared. So if you go to like a engineering school, there's a possibility that whatever you're learning for that engineering degree, that there won't be as high. So I think a generalized business degree, and then that's why colleges give you a minor. You can minor in whatever you want, but just major in a general thing, something that will work at any job interview you will ever
Here
take.
we go.
But that gets back to my point, is that I was definitely in that system. I was totally in that system, and I hated every second of it. And this is something I heard of other YouTubers too, is that I heard another YouTuber going, there was not a single job that they had before being a YouTuber where they didn't at some point break down and cry. And this was a man, too. This was, sorry to be sexist there, but this was a not that overly sensitive male person saying he was breaking down and crying. And I understand that there was not a single job I've had where I didn't feel like breaking down and crying at some point, because they can be so soul crushing. I hate to scare anybody, but bad jobs can be soul crushing. Being miserable and broke and working 40, 60 hours a week and it's still not getting you anywhere is just a soul crushing experience. And staying alive for another year, but at the end of the year having exactly zero in the same amount of money you started with, which is zero, each year, is just soul crushing. It's like you don't get raises unless you're really lucky. You usually don't get any kind of accommodations or recognition if you do a really good job at something.
Here we go.
Job done.
Interesting. I don't think they activate the battle cry though. So yeah, I'm complaining about regular jobs, but the truth is, if you're gonna be a YouTuber, you're gonna potentially have to work with regular jobs. One thing I haven't figured out, and I would love comments and suggestions on this, is how do you convince people that what you're doing is really a job? There is just this totally lack of understanding, I would say, as far as what we're doing. I gotta kill this guy too. Oh, this
Here
sucks.
we go.
So, just convincing people around you that what you're doing is a job is hard. It is real hard because people want you to be pulling in such a reasonable amount of money. So you can't. It's hard to say, well, I've gotten this amount of views or this amount of views, and maybe that's part of the secret, is don't tell people that that 30,000 views equals about $30 in cash. Don't tell them that part, maybe. Maybe you throw out the big numbers and sell them. And probably in my life I've made the mistake of telling people that. I've been like, but people are gonna see it when it goes month and month and month, and you're not really having any money. People in your life are probably gonna see it. It's like, how can this really be a job when it's not making anything? And a lot of it is just that you gotta fake it till you make it type mentality. But you want to definitely sell up the number of views, I would say. You want to definitely sell up the number of hours and the effort you're using. If you're playing video games and recording that, I would say you try to get away from the term video games completely, and you say, I'm producing videos. And you start hammering that home. People think that it's real weird, actually, if you think about it. People don't bat an eye when a football player makes millions of dollars a year playing football, but if you were in the backyard going, I'm going to be a professional football player, and you're playing football every day, well, a lot of people might be alright with that, but some people are going to go, no, you're just playing football. And then when you get to the video games part of this thought, it gets even worse. It's like, because there are League of Legends and Dota players who are playing those games and making thousands, if not millions of dollars a year, and yet if you're playing League of Legends or Dota, people aren't going to see that you're practicing. So I definitely suggest people try to use terms like I'm practicing, I'm producing videos, try to just get people 100% away from the thought that they want to have, which it's really their problem. But people are down on games a lot. They don't, and this is kind of a weird career. So you have to admit it, but that doesn't mean it can't be a career. At least I hope.
X marks the spot.
Here we go. It's a decent one to sound.
Here we go.
Hope I get this victory so we can wrap up this episode. I don't want to go another episode, so if we don't get the victory soon, I'll just wrap it up and finish it off screen. I know I've been finishing a lot of things off screen right now, and that's gonna stop when we get back to 3 episodes and doing arena runs. I can almost promise that. We're gonna make a real effort to put a stop.
You shall not pass.
I don't have enough mana.
Alright, well. That sucked. Attack is equal to the health. Nope, that didn't work.
Here we go.
Let's go ahead and kill this guy. But there's still a lot of stuff though I know I just don't. I know that's a silly way to say it, but there really is just a lot of stuff that I don't have a clue about as far as
here we go.
Let's make this count. As far as YouTube, there's probably some secret stuff or just some obvious things that I'm just not seeing. I would say, as a new YouTuber, my suggestion is be careful. Don't fall into scams. Don't try and advertise your way into becoming a celebrity unless you've just got unless you're willing to
Here
burn
we go.
potentially millions of dollars in advertising. That'll definitely boost you if you spend millions of dollars in advertising, but you may never see that money back. And you may get very tired. But that's part of what I think, why I think that they want to put like a gate to make sure you're gonna do at least a couple months of videos consistently, because I bet, well, I kind of know, although I haven't really investigated it properly, but I kind of know that they're, man, that was a dumb move. That deserves a nuke.
Mistakes were made. Here we go.
Not quite.
Job done.
Not quite what was planned.
But just people get tired of it after 5 months. If you haven't, after a couple months, even after.
Injured?
So if you don't play video games consistently, I wouldn't say video game commentary is your YouTube channel. Doesn't mean you can't be a YouTuber, but you need to do something consistent. If you're taking even more than, I'd say, a week and a half off, oh, that was dumb, I'm gonna lose. You're gonna have to rethink it. Now you can take breaks. I have, except for Hearthstone, which forces me to actually play every 3 days. I've found that you can actually record a lot of video game things in bursts and then chop them up into episodes and then have weeks and weeks already programmed and scheduled and ready to go. So it's not...
Here we go.
Well played.
I don't know why I'm not just hitting this and ending my turn. It's not like you can't take breaks, but you can't take super long breaks, and you can't take breaks that you haven't planned or prepared for. I'm doing like 4 series now. I don't know if that's the right thing or not. Maybe I should be doing more, maybe I should do less. I think the longer you wait, the more you need to catch up. If you're trying to catch up, maybe it doesn't really matter if you catch up. It definitely should be considered that old games don't really get that many views. That is something I definitely learned from Portal. When the Steam VR got announced and Portal was in the news for a second, putting all those videos out didn't really get me a lot of views.
Victory or death!
So people want to see the new games, but getting the old games is a trick you can do to make your repertoire better, get experience, and just have more videos on here. Old games will run better on old equipment, or at least slightly newer equipment than the game itself. But then there's also a point there. I would never go back and do like Super Mario Brothers. Well, I might do Super Mario Brothers, but I'm not gonna do some obscure NES game. I'm not gonna go and do every single NES game that has ever existed just out of some completionist mentality, which never helps to be in a completionist mentality. But I wouldn't really do Mario 64. I wouldn't do any Nintendo things anyways. Nintendo is a whole other issue, but I'm just naming old games. I wouldn't do anything even early Xbox 360, to be honest. Even early Xbox 360 is so low in graphics that unless there is a specific reason,
Job's done.
Unless there's a specific, like, something I can really show this game about and talk about this game, it would have to be a retro review for even an early 360 game. So you're talking mid to late 360 games now are about the only games I would do.
Let the pain speak to me.
However, on that thought, there's definitely a lot of old games out there that would qualify in my mind. Let's see.
Here
Smash
we
this
go.
space. Smash this. Smash this. We'll go ahead and smash this guy in the face.
Job's done.
Yep. But yeah, there's a lot of old games that I would not be opposed to showing an old point and click adventure like Maniac Mansion. That would be a very cathartic. Let's show how games used to be, and then we could work our way up to like Day of the Tentacle and Monkey Island and all of those games. Let's see.
You shall not pass.
Here we go.
Definitely enjoy those, and they start jumping in graphicalness. It's definitely something I might do, but they come with big caveats. They are not the new flashy first-person shooter type graphics. When you look at like the Talos Principle, it is easily a game that could have been just a top-down 3D, top-down puzzle. But instead they put the new graphics on it. They put good graphics on it, and in that they... Alright, so definitely want this. Then
Come close
this.
and listen.
Job's done.
And because they put the 3D graphics and the new and 3D physics in it, it went from a game that might easily have run on a Windows 98 PC to a game that doesn't run on a early Windows 8
Armor made to
or
fit.
Windows 7, whatever. No, it's Windows 8, yeah, PC laptop. So once those new graphics come in, that's what people demand, but it's also what runs up the
Silent. But
difficulty to
Here
run
we
and record. Let's see. I think I might have this next turn. Maybe. Depends. It all just kind of depends. Nope. Maybe. If I get another poison, deadly poison, I'll win.
I can take the hit.
So yeah, there might not be a lot of reason for you to go back and do old games, or if you're just doing it as a part-time because you're in school or something. I would definitely say you're probably not going to make enough videos to make this a career, but you might get some loyal viewers, you might get a lot of experience. One of the things that might very easily work is it might just be something you can put on your resume. If you make a penny for anything, you're a professional. It's just that simple. That's the qualification. So if you ever earn a penny of revenue,
I can take the hit.
then you can say you're a professional video producer, celebrity content creator, however you want to put it on your resume. And that might open up all kinds of new avenues. Alright, play this. This thing is just freaking out. That was a good Blade Fury, but now I'm out of characters. So it'll take me a while. Let's see, 12 damage.
I
for-
bring life and
Here we go.
Not going well. Not going well because in 2 turns this guy's gonna be able to kill me. Oh, didn't even need 2 turns. Anyways, I guess that's enough of my long rant about suggestions to YouTuber from a YouTuber who hasn't really succeeded themselves. And I definitely need suggestions. Notice we need one more victory. I'm just gonna do it offline. We don't need to go further. I'm just gonna play some more rogue games and get to 60. That'll put us up to 945, which is 540 extra gold on top of what we need. So we are making progress. That is great news. I'm glad that at the end of April we will have struggled our way through Blackrock Mountain and caused ourselves to have a reserve and even max level the character. Am I probably ever going to struggle through another expansion to have enough gold? I hope not. I hope not in like 6 months or whenever the next expansion comes out that's an adventure. I hope I don't have to play for an entire month, because this has been a lot of offline playing, and that is definitely something you don't want to do. Always record, always make footage, always be camcording. ABC is what I say. Always be commenting, always be camcording. It works both ways. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment. Like, share, subscribe, comment. If you want to, and watch every second of my videos. That's it. If you want to support me further through fan funding, click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. If you want to follow me on any social link, or friend me on Steam or Battle.net, all that information is down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good